Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Be Well Sis podcast. I am your host, Dr. Cassandra Dunbar. How has life been treating you? But more importantly, how have you been treating yourself? Me, I have been, listen, I'll be honest, it's been a lot going on. If you are on this planet, you know that the US is just about on fire. So I have been managing as you have been as well. So I have been. I won't say I've been good. I won't say that I've been okay. I just have been. I've been just trying to figure out this thing on a day to day basis as the news headlines come out 30 miles a minute. Just trying to figure things out. But today is a solo episode. I am really happy to be here with you to get some things off my chest and to talk about love. It is February, so we typically talk about Valentine's Day and all of those things. But we'll be talking in this episode specifically about not just romantic love, but our platonic relationships as well, and just how important they are. So go ahead and grab a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, or maybe a little bit something a little bit stronger if you need. Okay. As always, thank you so much for joining. I'm so glad you're here. Be well, sis. So let's go ahead and hop into it. So, we talk a lot about self care on this podcast, right? Self care is just critical for our overall well being, but we don't typically think about how the relationships that we nurture and how they can have a huge impact on our overall well being. Who we love, how we love, and who we let into our lives can deeply impact our sense of peace and have long lasting consequences on our overall well being and even our health. A healthy relationship can pour into us, energize us, and create space for softness, but a toxic one, it can drain us, stress us, and of course have negative consequences on our health. So let's not forget that romantic love is not the only love that matters. In a world that constantly tells us, especially Black women, that we need to be chosen, we have to remember that we already belong, first to ourselves, then to our communities, and of course to our sisterhoods. The friendships that we cultivate are just as sacred as the romantic relationships that we step into. So let's go ahead and unpack it all, from the red flags, the green flags, the friendships that sustain us, and the love that nurtures us. Let's talk about it. Because self care, of course, is not just the things that we put on our bodies and the places that we go and the things that we put into our bodies, but it's also choosing the relationships that make us feel seen, feel heard, feel supported, and all of those good things. To start off, let's talk about the toll of stress and toxic relationships on us. Starting with talking about the emotional labor and, quote, strong Black woman syndrome. So many of us are conditioned to be, quote, strong in relationships and therefore tolerate red flags way longer than we should. A toxic partner is going to expect us to, quote, fix them and to be the therapist, the mother, and the partner all in one. I think about years ago when, during one of the periods of times when Kanye West was just going off on social media, and I think he was recently divorced or recently separated from Kim Kardashian. And a lot of the online conversation was about how, oh, Kanye needs to get himself a Black woman now, and that a Black woman will get him in order. What? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That is a recipe for disaster for that Black woman. Again, we are not the mules of the world. We are not to be fixing and repairing everything and everyone around us. And even bringing it back to outside of relationships, let's talk about the relationship that America has with Black women. The other day, a couple weeks ago, it was Valentine's Day, and Vice President or former Vice President Kamala Harris posted a really cute picture of her and Dougie, and she was like, all the cute things about thank you for being her Valentine, and now he's her forever Valentine, right? Really cute picture, innocent enough. I saw it, I scrolled on through. Tell me, why were people up in arms, okay, saying that this was a tone deaf post and that, the country needs her right now and we are losing our democracy and those people are up in the White House acting a fool and she needs to come and save us? Bruh. She campaigned for months. She was in the White House for years. Our job at that time was to vote for her. Her tour of duty is done. So why are we asking now for her to come and fix things? That is toxic. That is a red flag, America. There's so many red flags. That is one. And I'm sorry, that is a derailment, but just makes us think about how the strong Black woman syndrome is not only present in again, our relationships, but also present and follows us wherever we go. Think about the situations in the workplace. Oftentimes, we're asked for our input before a decision is made. The decision is made disregarding our input. And then when things are set on fire because they did not listen to our input, now they're asking for us to fix it. No, that's not how this works. So, choosing relationships whenever we have the choice, where we don't have to be the mule, is going to be so crucial to our well being. Okay. You should not be the one who is doing all of the heavy lifting in the relationship. It should be a mutually carried load, if a load at all. A relationship should not be difficult in the sense that it feels like a burden. Yeah, there'll be some challenges because life in and of itself can be challenging, but it should not be one where you feel that you're carrying something together. That in and of itself can be a red flag. Let's talk about cortisol and the mind body connection. So, studies have showed that Black women experience higher levels of stress related illnesses. For example, hypertension, autoimmune diseases, and of course, toxic relationships can contribute to this. Our minds have no idea whether or not the threat is a tiger that's in the room with us, or if it is that we are in an unhealthy relationship and one in which that we don't feel safe. So, a red flag is if a relationship is making you physically sick. So, loss of appetite, headaches, exhaustion. Maybe you just literally feel queasy around that person, or you have like palpitations around that person. That's a problem. And that is your body giving you cues that this may not work. If you feel that whenever you're away from that person, that you feel a little bit better, a little bit lighter, you just feel safer in a way, that is your body giving you the cues. A healthy relationship, a green flag is going to be one where you feel safe and not on edge. Your relationships, whether they are romantic or platonic, should be soothing and calming to your nervous system. I find that our nervous system is going to talk to us very subtly before it starts to scream and before the rest of the body starts to respond as well. So if you feel good around a person, if you feel calm and at ease around a person, again, whether or not it is romantic or platonic, that's a good idea. That's a green flag. Feeling on edge is a red flag for any reason. Whenever we examine our relationships, we need to assess whether or not the relationship is fueling our joy or draining our energy. Again, if you are constantly feeling emotionally exhausted after dealing with someone, they aren't for you. And whenever I hear conversations about people going no contact with their relatives and things of that nature, I don't judge. If I'm honest with you, at one point I did judge. I'm just like, how can you not speak to your blood? How can you not speak to your mother? Now, with a little bit more life experience and a little bit more, I guess, wisdom, I realize that just because somebody has been linked to you for a very long time or linked by actual DNA does not mean that they are good for you. Many Black women are taught never to depend on anyone, but healthy interdependence is a green flag. So, hyper independence is a trauma response. And it's because we've had to take care of ourselves and defend ourselves and be there for ourselves because we couldn't rely on the people around us. And while independence is great, hyper independence and not being able to or knowing how to lean on someone is a red flag. We want to feel that we can lean on somebody for support because we are social creatures. As humans, we are meant to live in tribes and in community. And it's important that we create that community. So let your partner or your friends, your community show up for you and support you instead of feeling like you have to handle everything alone. In the beginning, if it is your first rodeo in realizing that you do suffer from hyper independence and then trying to be less hyper independent, it's going to be difficult. But it's important to, with baby steps, ask for help for little things. If you are feeling overwhelmed just with your day to day, ask yourself, what is it that I can get some help from somebody around me with? If you're a mother, can you ask somebody to, pick up the kids for you or to watch the kids for you? Is there something you can get some help with around the house? Super important, even though it feels uncomfortable. Trust me, I have been there. It feels uncomfortable asking for help. People cannot help you and people cannot support you if they don't know what you need help with. And the same way that you want to be supporting and be loving and be helpful to the people around you, they also want to reciprocate that with you too. It's super important to have a partner and friends and community that honors your softness. You deserve gentle love, emotional safety, and reciprocity, as I just mentioned. And again, a green flag is going to be someone who respects your needs for ease, for peace, and for joy. And they don't make you prove that you need any of these things. I think one of the reasons why a lot of us suffer from things like hyper independence is because it's what was modeled, it's what we saw growing up. Many of us also witnessed dysfunctional relationships and never saw examples of healthy love. And I absolutely can attest to that. So it is really important to do things like therapy and shadow work and self reflection to identify the patterns that we don't want to repeat. As important as it is to know what you want in a partner or what you want in a relationship, whether it's platonic or romantic, it's super important to also know, what don't I want? What doesn't feel good or look good to me? And lastly, I will say this is super important to be okay with walking away. We're often taught to hold it down no matter what and to be somebody's ride or die. And no. Why are we riding? Where are we riding to? And why are we dying? Absolutely not. Okay. So it's super important to reframe that and hold it down for yourself. Okay. That is just as important as it is for holding down somebody else. Absolutely not riding or dying. Yes, challenges may arise. That is again part of life, but to what extent? We're not martyrs. We're not self-sacrificing here. All right, so let's hop into On My Radar, and that is where I discuss people, places, and things that I'm currently obsessed with and you should know about. So the first thing is called We the People. They describe themselves as a Brooklyn born brand with Caribbean roots. They create high standard body care featuring active ingredients and skincare quality formulas and beautiful scents. And they're not lying. Their products leave your body softer, smoother, and healthier over time. The one that especially piqued my interest because I bought it maybe last around my birthday. I want to say sometimes in October, I think I got it. Was it October? Maybe earlier. I don't know. But it is the We the People Featherweight Hydrating Body Gloss in the scent Orange Blossom. They describe it as being a skin barrier boosting serum oil for deep hydration, and they aren't lying. It is so good. One of the things that I don't like about oils is that yes, it leaves a beautiful sheen on the skin, but I don't like the slick feeling. This one does not. This one, it just your skin looks beautiful, but it's not greasy. And the scent is chef's kiss. Is just so phenomenal. I love, love, love. And what I'm especially excited about is that they have a new fragrance coming out soon. And it's fashioned after this scent, I think, because it seems to have the same notes like orange blossom, jasmine, and some other things. So it sounds similar, and I love this smell so much. I told myself that I was not going to be purchasing things. I'm like, you know what, girl, you need to tighten it up and try to do a no spend. That hasn't happened. I have been spending, but not as much. My thing has gone down. My Rocket spending, my Rocket Money, yeah, my Rocket Money app has been telling me how I've been spending less and less money every week, and I'm really proud of myself. However, with that being said, I will be purchasing that new fragrance because I'm excited about it. So that's on my radar. And the other thing that's on my radar is Abbott Elementary. I don't really watch TV like that anymore. I used to love me some reality TV, and it doesn't quite hit the same anymore. It really doesn't. And it actually makes me sad because I used to find comfort in a ton of reality shows. So every Sunday I would curl up on that couch and just watch all the things. And now I'm just like, oh, this isn't as fun as anymore. So I've been watching Abbott Elementary. That has been my emotional support show. That is the only show that on Sundays I will make sure that I catch the rerun from that previous, I think Wednesdays when they typically come out. And I also watch the reruns because I love it. It's in its fourth season at the moment. It is a sitcom that is about a Philadelphia-based public school. It's created by Quinta Bronson, who started off on social media and has just created just a really beautiful show. Uh, it's just good. It also has one of my faves, Cheryl Lee Ralph, in it. Cheryl Lee Ralph. Okay, let me give you a little bit of a tidbit about me. So when I was a kid, I'm an only child, number one. My mom was always working. She's a single parent. And the TV did a lot of raising for me. The TV raised me. One of the shows that I loved to watch was a show that Cheryl Lee Ralph was on. It was about cocktail waitresses in this really like high end, like lounge situation, and she was the only black cocktail waitress, and she was just so beautiful and so glamorous. I was like, you know what, I want to be her when I grow up. What was the name of the show? Let me find it. But that is where I first found her. And then she, of course, was the Mama Moe show, which was a coming of age show for me. Oh my gosh, what is this show called? Why is it? There we go. It's a Living. So that was from 1986 to 1989. So I would watch, like, I guess the reruns and things. Shoot, and some of it probably in real time as well. But I loved that show so much. That's where I first discovered her. And she's also on Abbott Elementary, all that to say. So those are some things that have been bringing me some joy these past couple of days. I want to know what has been bringing you joy in these raggedy ass times. As always, thank you so much for joining. Oh, one more thing before I let y'all go. We are about to be 5 years old. No, we just turned 5 years old. So Be Well Sis has been here in the atmosphere for 5 years. On February 16th, 2020 was when I first released the trailer. And now here we are. It's February 2025. My gosh. So yeah, we've been rocking together for a minute. If you've been with me since day one, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. If you have recently found the show, thank you, thank you. I also appreciate you. Go ahead and do me a favor. I would love it if you would leave us a 5-star rating on Apple, as well as on Spotify. If you are not already following along, please click the follow or the subscribe button. And of course, we're also on YouTube. We started consistently posting on YouTube a couple months ago, trying to grow our presence there. So if you like to watch and you like to see me be a bobblehead, because I'm constantly just nodding away whenever we have guests, go ahead and subscribe on YouTube as well. I'd be really, really appreciative. In the next couple of weeks, I'm going to announce like a little virtual shindig for us to get together, because I would love to just, be in community and just to speak with you guys. Just yeah, just chat about the things. And I know a lot of us have a lot on our minds, on our hearts, and I want to create a safe and fun space for us to do so. So that will be coming up for our 5-year little anniversary parties, and you guys are all invited. If you are not following along on social media, I am at @BeWellSis_podcast. Go ahead and follow me there. That way you will see the announcement when it is made. And what else? I'm also on Threads, same thing, Be Well Sis _podcast. And if you would like to sign up for my newsletter, I might be revamping it and coming back and giving you more like the personal and behind the scenes stuff. Go ahead and click down below in the show notes. As always, thank you so much for joining. I am so glad you are here. Be well, sis. And in the meantime, till next time, please take care of yourselves. Please, please, please. Thank you for listening to this episode of Be Well, Sis. If you'd like to get in touch with us, there's a link in the show notes. Be Well, Sis is hosted by me, Dr. Cassandra Dunbar, and produced by Edit Audio. Don't forget to hit follow so you never miss an episode. Until next time, be well, sis.